Welcome y'all to another Executive Mindset, and only the biggest superstars can create two of the biggest headlines of the year in a matter of an hour. Like, shout out to Will Smith, I guess, in a sense. First for the slap, the spike, the punch, whatever you want to call it, of Chris Rock on live television for disrespecting Jada, his wife. And I want to say this because when I rewinded it and I looked, like, dude had like almost textbook technique on the smack, like from the turn, like he stood straight from the turn, the landing, then the follow through. Like even his heel was up, like kicking back, like, like he was practicing this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he gets credit for the smack because he even made that look cool. And the other thing that he did was he deserved a major headline for was finally winning the Oscar for his acting role in King Richard, the Venus and Serena story. See, the slap he did on Chris Rock will forever be a part of black TV history for all the wrong reasons. And I didn't like how Will handled the situation in that moment with open hand smacking another grown man on stage doing a live show, because I've seen dudes get felony charges and killed for doing way less. I don't care, whatever you call a difference, whatever it is, we gonna be tussling. You come smack me like that on stage like that. And honestly, when you look back on it, it looked like Chris Rock thought about it for like a half a second, because it looked like he just kept it going, man. But Will need to be thankful that, he caught the wrong one, because any other dude that I know or any other person I know in my circle, like, yeah, it's, it would probably would have turned out a little different, and smacking is like the ultimate sign of disrespect, especially in our community. Like you put fists to each other, like that's what grown men do. But when a man actually thinks about smacking you, that's like, yeah, it's kind of letting this dude know that you beneath me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a good look. And, best believe if it was The Rock or, another comedian like Corey Holcomb or Steve Harvey up there saying what Chris Rock said, like, Will probably wouldn't have had no issues, or maybe he would have yelled from his seat or just had a conversation backstage or whatnot. Like, and I could keep going with this narrative, and there's plenty layers to keep going with this, and I will with my homie Rag on the pod, but I wanted this executive mindset to focus more on Will Smith and how he just snapped, not necessarily because of that isolated incident with that one Chris Rock joke, but because of all the emotions and frustrations he has had over the last 20 plus years. Chris Rock just happened to be at the right place at the right time and executed the right joke, or the poorly timed joke. Like, most of us have been in a place where several things accumulate, and it's that last straw that triggers you, and whoever that is gets all the smoke from the previous accumulated stuff, even though ultimately it has nothing to do with them. Like, Will is well-spoken, wealthy, has a lot of wisdom, says a lot of the right things, smiles on cue, but dude is broken, emotional, and frustrated. A grown man with any level of ego and confidence in himself can only take so much. And I know everybody sometimes hear that saying, like, check on your strong friends, and, because they need help, we need help too. And, I think Will can be categorized as more like your strong friend. And, he gives a lot of good advice and says a lot of the good stuff. He's there for a lot of other people, mentors for a lot of different people. But it's like, bro, you look like you need that for yourself, because it look like he almost crumbling out here. I believe we saw a lot of that coming out, his brokenness, his emotional and being frustrated in that acceptance speech after he won the Oscar. The emotions and frustrations of dealing with the whole entanglement thing with August, Jada and, Jaden, that being Jaden's friends and stuff like that. Like, to me, it's different when, okay, your wife cheated or cheating on you or whatever, but it's your son's friend. Like, it's your son that introduced y'all to each other. Like, that's just, to me, that's on a whole nother level of hurt and humiliation. Also, her making, Jada making the Red Table Talk a platform to highlight some of their most intimate and humiliating moments in marriage, and him having and Will having to publicly put on a poker face like all this hasn't been weighing heavy on him. And on top of all that, the King Richard role inspired him to quote unquote love and protect those he loves at all costs, especially the women in his life. And no knock on that. That's commendable. You know what I'm saying, about protecting black women, if that was actually the truth. But then add to that the raw emotions and frustrations he already had, and you end up seeing what we saw, which was pimp smacking Chris Rock in the name of love. And it was love, all right, but it was the love of himself and who he painted himself to be as a man. If you look back at the tape, initially laughed at Chris Rock's joke about Jada, but it turned left when Jada looked offended and wasn't smiling. At the end of the day, Will was saving face because he did laugh and then wanted to prove to the masses the type of man he was, or at least the man he wanted to be seen as when he saw his wife was not happy or, amused about that joke, kind of be like a la Richard Williams, which he pretty much implied in his speech when he said that, it's crazy that art mimics real life or real life mimics art. We've seen Will Smith shut down Instagram at times with a lot of creative posts and words of wisdom, thinking he's just brushing off all this stuff, water off a duck's back and stuff like that with ease. But in reality, things just continue to pile on and clearly look like he's been keeping score. Also, here's another hot take for you. I believe Jada is taking advantage of Will because she knows he won't divorce her. If y'all remember on that Red Table Talk a couple years ago, Will admitted the worst thing that ever happened to him in his adult life was getting divorced in his first marriage, and how that wasn't his idea. It was hers, and she broke his heart, and how that whole situation broke him because he didn't believe in divorce. Jada has been more than liberal in expressing their marriage business for millions to hear and dissect, and doing it in the name of love and transparency, but really it's done in selfish gain and fame. Jada knows Will is not willing to completely leave the marriage because she knows how much that would affect him. Therefore, it makes her way more open and willing to discuss almost anything on her platform, but then they want to disguise it in self-help and self-love. Of course, I don't know this for sure, and I'm sure neither do you, but I think that's pretty interesting. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think about this whole situation? Am I tripping? Does Will, deserve kudos, for standing up for black women? I've been seeing a lot of that stuff. Black women are just, cheering them on, and that's the thing. Or what's up? Is Chris Rock, does he need to be given credit for being so professional and keeping the flow of the show going? What's up, y'all? Let me know.